everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. This time I'm going to carry on with my 70s singles ranking videos. The last one I did I think was The Sweet, or it might have been ABBA, and this time it's the turn of Suzi Quatro. Now Suzi Quatro is regarded as the queen of glam, which is a little bit unfortunate because she didn't glam it up. She actually wore leather when everybody else was in glitter and sequins and all the rest of the stuff. She wore leather. But she, American girl from Detroit, she didn't have any success at all, apart from one duet in America with Stumbling In, a duet with Chris Norman. In the UK she had 2 #1 hit singles and 3 other top 10s, plus 4 other top 30s. So she did okay over here. She did better in Australia, where she had 3 #1s and 5 other top 10s. So I'm going to rank her singles from her debut in 1972, which I don't have. That's the only single I don't have, right up to 1989. Now she's released, these are all UK singles. Now she's released a lot of other singles in Europe and a few others in the UK in the 90s and so forth, but we'll stop at 1989. Okay, a couple of things first. Most of the UK singles look like that there. They're on the rack. So I do have quite a few foreign imports with picture sleeves, so I'll show them. I'm not going to show rank this one. This is Lost in Your Arms from '86. This is from the Annie Get Your Gun stage musical. So it is good, but it's not Suzi. It is Suzi Quatro, but it's not representative of her career at all. And then I'm not going to show this tacky single as well, called Down at the Superstore. I've only recently picked this up too, which features her and Dave Edmunds and Cheryl Baker, B.A. Robertson, and some other bloke, which I'm junior. So I'm not going to include that either. That's from about 1982. Okay, so there's 27 singles, and so starting off at number 27, and from 1989 it's Baby Your Star, and this is awful. This is very dated. It's got a tacky video, it's a tacky song, and it attempts to be like a rousing rock song, but it's crap. Sorry, but it's awful. 26, and this is awful as well, and this is Wild Thing, a duet with Reg Presley. Now this is the famous Trog song, but it's all done with synthesizers, and it's that bad it's actually quite good. That's why it doesn't get rock bottom. Reg Presley's voice in this is terrible as well. Suzi's voice is okay, but it's just a very, very poor version. And that was from 1986. Number 25 from 1984, and it's I Go Wild. This sounds a little bit like Steve Miller Band Abracadabra, and it sounds like something else as well, and I've been racking my brains for the past week to think of what else it sounds like, and it's really annoying me. And I wasn't even going to do this video until I found out, but I just can't get it, and it really does annoy me. So I might actually put a link below, and if you listen to it, tell me what it sounds like, because it's getting on my nerves. But it's okay, it's medium paced, but not brilliant. Number 25. That was from 1984. Number 24, and from 1978, it's The Race Is On. This is around the time whenever she starred as Leather Tuscadero in Happy Days. This is okay. It's acoustically with a tiny tinge of country to it. It's a Chin Chapman song. It's alright. It's nothing special. But from now on we're talking about decent enough to excellent, and this is decent enough. The Race Is On. 24. 23, and from 1977, and it's Tear Me Apart. And this is a half decent medium paced rocker as well. This is from her Agoraphobia album, which is a pretty good album, but this is the only single I believe taken from it. Yeah, catchy, This is a slightly speeded up version. I think the album version is a little bit slower, but it's a good song. Gets into my number 23 from 1977. Number 22 and from 1981, and it's from a Rock Hard album, and it's Glad All Over. And yes, it is the Dave Clark 5 song, and she does a really good version of it. The only thing I'll say is, what's the point? But she does a really good version of it anyway. But again, what is the point? You know, releasing a single, #1 hit in the 1960s, but still, it's a good song. Number 21 and from 1978, and this is her biggest hit in the States, and this is Stumbling In with Chris Norman with his Tight Perm. Yeah, it's again, it's not a bad song. This didn't do very well in the UK. I don't think it managed to hit the top 40. It's slow to medium pace ballad. It's a good song, but it's not the best by any means. So number 21. Okay, number 20, and this is where I'm going to have to show an album, and it's her debut single from. It's actually not on an album, but it's on this issue of her first album, Saturday Night Special. It's called Rolling Stone, and it's co-written by Errol Brown of Hot Chocolate. It's not the sound that she would get with her next single, so at this stage she was supporting Slade in concert. I think she only got about 15 to 20 minutes, and she always gave off the nod. I say, why didn't you give me more time? And he says, well, you didn't have any songs. But it's a decent song, medium paced again, it runs along nicely. So Rolling Stone at number 20. Number 19 from 1977, it's Roxy Roller, and this is a good song. This is slightly reminiscent of Leader of the Pack in the verses anyway, by the Shangri-Las. Yeah, it's quite hypnotic. This song it's almost like a loop. It actually draws you in. I do like this. Roxy Roller, number 19. Number 18, and from 1974, it's a decent enough hit. It's Too Big. This is from her Suzi Quatro album, I think. And maybe it didn't actually make that album, but this is quite 12-bar bluesy. This is the follow-up to Devil Gate Drive. It didn't hit top 10, but it did manage top 20. It's okay. It's never been one of my favourites, although whenever I've been playing all these singles lately, this one I enjoyed more than I ever did. Okay, number 17, and we have Mama's Boy from 1980, and this is on her Suzi and other four-letter words album. Couldn't remember the name of the album there. Yeah, this is actually composed by Suzi and Len Tucky. Yeah, a very minor hit, good rocker, that's all you can say. Mama's Boy, good song. Okay, number 16, and it's very similar in style. I've Never Been in Love. It's a bit of a sing-along one, medium to fast-paced rocker. Good song from 1980 again. I don't think this charted at all, but yeah, decent enough. Now number 15, and this is the one that may be a little bit surprised. And this is from 1985, and it's called, what was it called? Tonight I Could Fall in Love. Now this sounds, it is very dated, and it sounds, the start of it sounds like Midge Ure's version of No Regrets. And then whenever the vocals start, you would put money on it that it was Bonnie Tyler singing. It doesn't sound like Suzi Quatro. It doesn't even look like Suzi Quatro, but it is Suzi Quatro. But I really like this. I think it's a really good song. It is dated, doesn't sound like her, but I think it's really good, and that gets my number 15. Okay, number 14 and number 13 are very similar. A bit off More Than I Can Chew. It wasn't a hit. It's from 1975, and this is the funky Suzi Quatro. She released two sort of soul funk type singles in the mid 70s, 75. I'm telling you, that was the year that everybody had to go. Bowie had to go, Ian Hunter had to go, Mark Bowen tried to have a go. But this is good, it is funky, it is a Chin and Chaplin song, and this gets my number 14. But I have to put this one at 13 because they're very, very similar, and it's Your Mama Don't Like Me. And those two were from the Your Mama Don't Like Me album. Again, it's funky and it's good, and you do catch yourself singing along to this. It really is good. This didn't chart either. Okay, number 12, and from 1981, and it's Lipstick, and this sounds very similar to M's Pop Music, but it's a really good song. I really do like it. It's excellent, and this is from a Rock Hard album, so this gets my number 12. Now, number 11 and number 10 are very similar in sound, and they're from the same album. Heart of Stone from 1982 is an acoustic, medium pace, catchy song written by, I think this one was written by Suzi Quatro and Chris Andrews, so she had a hand in writing this. And just slightly better, but very, very similar, and from the album of the same name, Main Attraction. And again, this is a Quatro Andrews song, so very, very similar, but really good. Okay, number 9, we're getting into the heavyweights now, and number 9, the number 1 hit single, Devilgate Drive, which I think when this is number 1, Tiger Feet by Mud was number 2, so Chin and Chapman had the top 2. I think maybe they actually had the top 3, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, number 1, 1974. A couple of videos for this. The black and white one's the best. It is like a glam type classic, and it's quite funny because they do a little dance routine in it as well, which is quite amusing. So that gets my number 9. Number 8, and from 1974, and this is The Wild One, and this featured on the Quatro album, but not this version. A completely different version, a bit of a soul version was on the album, but I think after they pressed so many, they changed it and put the single version on. When I saw Suzi Quatro live 5 years ago, we always have a little bit of a guess what's going to be the first song. I said this is definitely going to be the first song. I was right. It was the first song, and she was brilliant. It's a great song, and it gets number 8. Number 7, another one similar to The Wild One, is I May Be Too Young, which is another fantastic song, and this was the follow-up to A Bit Off More Than I Can Chew, and this was back to the Quatro sound after the funk of the Your Mama Don't Like Me stuff. This one didn't chart, and I don't understand why, because it's one of her catchiest songs ever, and released in 1975. Absolutely brilliant. And number 6, from 1973, and it's Daytona Demon, and this was the single prior to Devilgate Drive. Really, really good song. Top 20, didn't just fail to make the top 10, but absolutely brilliant glam number. It's a very glam sounding song as well. So number 6, Daytona Demon. Number 5, and the title track from a Rock Hard album, Rock Hard, and this is really, really great. This is a fantastic rocker. There's good video for it as well on YouTube. I've always loved this. Absolutely fantastic song, Rock Hard. Okay, number 4, and a top 20 hit, nearly hit the top 10 in 1979. It's She's in Love with You, and this is just really brilliant. This is one of these galloping songs, as I call them, where the music just gallops along. Brilliant. Should have been got even higher than it did, but anyway, still, it's her last big hit. So She's in Love with You from 1979. Okay, number 3, and our number 1 hit from 73, and it's Can the Can. Absolutely fantastic with those drums at the start, and there's real heavy guitar in this as well, and this is when Suzi hit the UK big style. Number 1, 73. Okay, number 2 and number 1. One of them is actually like the acoustic-y, and one is the glammy, and I didn't know which one to put, and so I'm going to go for number 2. And I'm going to go for If You Can't Give Me Love, which is an absolutely brilliant song from 1978, top 10. I think got to number 3 or 4. Acoustic-y, sounds a bit like Smokey, but around that time she was. brilliant song. Watch it on YouTube. It's really, really good. She played this live. In fact, she played them all live apart from Daytona Demon, which I was disappointed with. And then my number one Suzi Quatro song, and it's a glam classic, and it's 48 Crash. And this got to number 3, I believe, in the charts, and this was the follow-up to Can the Can. Absolutely brilliant. And as I say, like, she doesn't glam it up. She's in her leather, and she still wears the leather, and yeah, she's a fantastic personality, Suzi, as well. So that's my ranking of the Suzi Quatro singles from 72 to 1989. She doesn't get the recognition she deserves. You know, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Joan Jett just copied her straight out. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Joan Jett and the Blackhearts as well, but without Suzi Quatro, there'd be no Joan Jett. Okay, hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to have another video quite soon. All the best now. Bye bye.